I'm gonna scream at the shadow and be like, "Over here!" And I'm gonna keep charging toward the shadow.
Okay. You keep running towards the shadow, and you yell. And it's, as you go down this thing, it's still only really lit by the buds and the flowers down here. And you can easily catch up to this creature. And as you turn the corner, you see another part of an alleyway. And you hear this strange muffling sound. As you look into the darkness, and there is a group of them surrounding this one person. There's about 15 or 16 of them. And they turn and look at you as you yell at this one. You're going to need to either run or do something else as Matthias comes tearing down the other side, screaming, after you dragging this other man with him. What would you like to do as at least 4 or 5 of them start climbing the walls?
They're climbing the walls? Sorry.
Mm-hmm. I am going to offer you a GM intrusion.
Is here. Oh,
I like the sound of a challenge.
Okay. You are reaching to these crates, and as you're going to, they need like a lot of force to be pried open.
Mhm.
And first of all, you can have an XP and gift an XP to another player, if you so wish. And that same woman, the one with the white blonde hair, comes back down the stairs, walks over, and you're close enough to hear what they're saying. And you hear, "We have a problem. We've been followed." And the man pauses, sort of looks around the room, and leans in. Is it going to be a problem? And the woman sort of looks to him as, "Not at all. We have the child, and we are going to have the situation dealt with. But I need you to come here and interrogate with me because I need to find out what she knows and how she found her way in here." And there is a curt nod, and they both walk away up the stairs. You also see behind you all of these shadow creatures running and landing on the roof, strangely efficiently on the same one as you, and crawling on all fours towards you. You get to this high point on this roof, and you get to the edge. There are no more roofs. However, Matthias, hang on, roll, comes barreling into you and sends you both off the side of the roof as his back explodes into a pair of fiery wings, and you start plummeting towards the ground. And that's where we'll leave Doors of Genera tonight.
Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Rise of the Wardens. Before we go around and say hello to everyone, please take a moment to check out the opening links that are currently being spammed in chat. All of the places you can find us, find our community, find all the wonderful things. We put new merch on the Streamlabs store today, so if you want to get some new merch, you can do that now. And all sorts of other things. Also check out our sponsors, Bird in the Storm Publishing and Mage Hand Press, for they make this all possible, and we're very grateful to them. And if you would like to go and make purchases there, Mage Hand Press, we have a discount code where you can get 50% discount, so go and use it. Also, retweet the tweet. Retweeting the tweet really helps us out. Let all your friends know that you're here and you're watching us play, because we are playing Dragon Age and it's going to be awesome.
That's
Alice.
powerful.
It is. Alice, would you like to, intro everything?
Well, I tell you what, you, who are you playing?
I will be playing Dylan Zikrian. There is not a lot known about him, but he definitely enjoys dicing, he definitely enjoys winding people up, and avoids fighting if possible.
You did ram an ogre with a boat last week.
Okay. He avoids fisticuffs, but when it comes to the occasional ram, he always fancies a ram. Especially if there might be good loot and stunts.
Okay.
One can't resist a good ram, you know.
Exactly.
So, Alex, last week, an ogre stepped out into the bay, and I used my boat, which I have used to raid ships, to ram the ogre. Got a crit and used stunt points as well.
Is it too late to quit?
This is like
That's the game.
just giving you, the vibe of the game. But otherwise, let's hop down to Madam Gandalf and say hi to Alex again. I'm so glad.
Hello! My name is Madam Gandalf, and I will be playing Ariava Serana, the sheltered mage of elven descent, who is looking to find her family. She's basically Hercules in the Disney movies at this point. Kind of wide-eyed, naive, but I'm special, Mama. I got my special spells. So,
I'm going to need to find you a Phil.
It might be me.
That, or get you like a Varric-esque Danny DeVito type.
A Varric-esque Danny DeVito. I need this in my life.
Done. Right.
Something needed now. But Ariava Surana, she is cocky, she's clumsy, and sometimes those don't match very well together. So I am excited to bring her into the Dragon Age world, because this is one of the first times ever where I wrote 7 pages of backstory. I am notorious for not doing any backstory.
Yeah, okay, Alex, I was literally developing my character during, this
During.
part of last week.
During
I was
the
rolling
episode.
stats while I was introing.
Look at me go. I'm better than Scratticus this week.
Perfect thing. And last but certainly not least, Julie, who is responsible for this wonderful artwork. Look at it. Look how pretty it is. I love it so much. It's so good.
Yes.
Look at the dragon.
Hello, I'm Julie. I'm J-Grave Art. I do art and costumes. And here I am playing Kahal, who is a ex-gladiator for the Tevinter Imperium. He is elven and is kind of still hiding it. I don't know where he is right now, but we'll find out.
Thank you so much to Valdrianth as well, who's come in with a resub. 14 months! Who would believe? You have an advantage to gift to a player of your choice. Our donation rewards work just like any other game where we just roll twice and take the best one, so to keep things simple.
Perfect. So, we're going to hop in, not where we left off into Winter, but where we're beginning this week, over in Ferelden. And Ferelden at the moment is fine. There's a calm. No reach of the blight has actually come across Ferelden yet. And Alex, where is your character and what does she look like? Can you give us a description as she walks down maybe this road towards one of the villages? And why is she going to the village?
So you come across a young-ish elven lady with long brown curls, with long chocolate curls. And she's got like this slight dusting of freckles just kissing over her cheeks and nose a little bit. And these bright forest green eyes. She dresses like from afar that she is very prim and proper. But the closer you get, the more you realize there's a scrape there that has been stitched up crudely. There's a little bit of a stain over there that has not quite blended into the rest of the fabric. Little bits and bobs that let you know, like, oh, not that great. Signs that show her clumsiness as she attempts to look around the village, kind of a little bit in awe at the size of the buildings in front of her and the amount of noise surrounding her right now. Before having a little bit of a moment where she stumbles over a pebble and dusting herself off, trying to make sure that she still looks like the professional person that she is. She continues onwards to where she believes the nearest bed might be, which is most likely going to be an inn or a tavern.
Yeah, and as you approach up this cobbled streets, they're cobbled. You do trip over this stone and sort of correct yourself again, sort of, did anyone see that? Sort of look around. And there seem to be some people walking up and down this path. You can see carts leaving what looks like it's definitely a village, but it looks like it's becoming the beginnings of a town. You can see some people working on walls, almost like boundaries at the beginning of this, almost like the break in the fields as you definitely hit that cobbled path.
Elves don't do well inside stone walls.
No. I mean, you can see like one that looks like not a tower, because it's not a tower. It's like a watch post, like an outlook. And you can see someone almost lazily sort of looking out that not much happens here, but you can hear a chorus of birds. You can see the bees and you can see the flowers that are sort of drifting in this almost autumn breeze that has started to pick up. And
it's also wonderful.
It is. It really is. Until the blight. But yeah, otherwise, it's really, it's genuinely lovely. And you can
played.
It's like, and here we go. And you can walk through these walls that are being built. They're not really high at all. In fact, some of them only come up to your waist as they're building them. And you step through and you can see stables off to your left. You can see lots of merchants sort of exchanging coin, exchanging goods. You can see people that definitely look like travelers that have come in with their carts. You see well-to-do dressed people. They look like maybe just a higher up in like a level sort of. They're not in riches, but they're not. The clothing looks more to show off than it does for actual practicality. And you do see here and there these families. There does seem to be an elf walking behind some of them at times. You can see one that is knelt down playing with two very human children that seem to be messing about and sort of trying to get them under control as the parents are wandering off and sort of doing business and talking to merchants. And you do see, well, actually, no, you hear it and you smell it first, and this tavern. And it is the smell of hot pastry and pie and ale, which is pretty standard for Eldon. And it's pretty standard for Eldon that those root vegetables, that earthy sort of smell of very, very good food. And you can hear the laughter coming from the taverns. It's not like a raucous laughter. It doesn't sound too busy. But you can smell the ale. You see people sort of perched outside, some with their horses, and you see one man walk past with his Mabari as he's trying to avoid the Mabari jumping up and actually getting hold of this almost like pasty-like thing that he's got as he walks past.
Ariava's eyes are just going to kind of... She is almost smiling. She doesn't even mean to be, but she is. Like, this is people. This is people being themselves in every burp and belch and body odor and belligerent moment of speaking and lack of brains is all here in this room. And she's got, you know how when people will continue walking forward, but they're still too busy looking at what they've just seen, that they'll just kind of walk into things? Well, you know, she'll walk into the bar a little bit, like kind of stuff her foot. And she'll sheepishly kind of on the counter until she gets the bartender's attention.
You do see this rather young man, but looks very, very broad. You can guess he's probably picking up and rolling the barrels all on his own for this tavern as he turns round. He's got just like a mop of blonde hair. He looks very square, like square jaw, square. He's a typical Ferelden. You could pick him out in a crowd as your stereotypical Ferelden. And he looks over, briefly looks you up and down. He's like, yeah, all right, what can I get you?
Just a bed, a room, for
you want a room? Okay. Yeah. No, we got those. We got that. And you see him sort of look around for a second as he's pouring like this, pouring this pint, and he's sort of looking around, and he's like, I had a book, and he disappears around the side for a bit, and this woman, very, very small, looks older than him, very round, and sort of comes up. You all right, love? And she slams this book down and opens it up, saying, you wanted a room?
Oh, yeah, one room.
How long are you staying?
One person.
No, how long you staying?
One night. One night.
Do you want breakfast with that? As she sort of like starts writing, like scratching it down onto this paper.
Like breakfast with a bed?
Yeah, you know, food stuff. Like dinner, but in the morning. I mean, I can do dinner as well. It's just on the list of questions they've got to ask.
Wait, so you're telling me it comes with the room? Like I will have the room, then wake up and enjoy breakfast?
And she sort of like leans over the bar with a smile. You can see her with these like sleeves rolled up high. You can see sort of a mild sweat on her brow. You can guess she's just come out of the kitchen. This red hair tied up into a bun. Some bits of hair have fallen loose. And she's like, yeah, what kind of taverns have you been to before?
Would it be weird if I said this was my first?
This is your first? Your first tap? Really? Well, it's not an embarrassment. Like, and she sort of looks around, and you can see the guy comes back and just like gestures that obviously she's got the book already and walks off. And she's like, oh, don't mind him. If it's your first time in tavern, have breakfast on me. You're right.
I am just struggling to see how eggs would stand on a human.
As she pauses and leans over that bar again. Are you all right?
It's been a long day.
Okay, I'll get you. Well, do you want a beer as well? Are you traveling on your own? Just you?
I am meeting many colleagues and will be escorted shortly.
And again, she looks at you. Okay, well, I'll put you down for dinner, and I'll put you down for breakfast. I'll go get him to pour you a pint now, and if anyone in here gives you any trouble, you just tell me, all right?
Thank you.
It's all right, it's all right. It goes, if you want, there's a good spot by the fire. It's where I tend to go afterwards. Here's your key. Don't forget.
Oh.
Room 4.
Room 4. Room 4, room 4, room 4. Thank you so much. Room 4. Room 4, room 4, room 4, room 4.
Yeah,
Room 4.
It's just 2 coppers. That's all.
Oh. And she will suddenly kind of rummage into this big pouch that she has, this big black leather pouch. Just stop. Okay, hang on. A scroll she shoves up under one armpit. A quill that she puts in her mouth. Okay.
Thanks, love. And she sort of closes her hand very quickly after watching it very slowly. 1, 2. It's like, you go take a seat and I'll bring your drink over. I think you need to sit down.
You catch Ariava in a moment of feeling like, yeah, I have money.
I got this.
Kind of moment as she comes back to reality and goes and sits down at the table, looking a little like she's trying to look in place.
Yeah, you can sort of sit yourself down and you feel the warmth of that fire, and you can sit down in this fairly comfy chair. And there's a small wooden table, very crudely sort of nailed together. You can see this is sort of very, very basic. And there looks to be a very melted candle where it's like only this big now, and the wax is sort of linked all over the center of the table. And you sit there for a while until you hear a voice. And this male voice is like, "Do you mind if I sit here?" And he holds he's holding like a flag and a veil. "I won't bother you. I just want to kip by the fire."
She'll just gesture.
Yeah, and he's like, "Right, okay." And he sort of slides into the chair, and you see this Mabari pad over to the fire and just flop down, and you actually feel the table sort of shake. And he's like, "Would you steady on?" And this man could probably not be any older than maybe 19 years old. And he sort of sat there with this flag, and he looks probably equally as awkward as he sits there looking at the fire for a bit. A glance over at you, sort of sips like this beer, scratches the dog's head, sips the beer.
Aria was going to almost like observe him too hard to the point where she is rudely staring, but she doesn't quite realize that. Her glance is wandering. It's not just like looking him down and like glaring. It's just...
And he sort of notices, because you see him sort of not like sit on the other side of his chair, but just like, and he's like, I'm Samick, if you're wondering. Sam, everyone calls me Sam. Hi. And he sort of holds out his hand.
Aria was going to tentatively reach out her hand.
Yeah, and he's like, and does like a weirdly slow shake. He's like, "Hey, did you have a name, or you don't have to tell me? Just
Ariava. Ariava.
Oh, nice name." And sort of pauses. He's like, "This is Taryn." And he sort of points down at this dog that you can hear is snoring beside this fire, that little bit of drool that is just sort of slowly dribbling its way down its muzzle and pooling by the fireplace.
Does it bite?
Only when he's sleeping.
Her eyes are going to widen a little bit with like an, sleep biter. Okay.
Yeah, you know when they get like a bad dream and then you wake them up in the middle of it, it's all hell breaks loose. Broke 2 of my chairs.
Looks fluffy though.
Yeah, he's an all right one really, and he sort of like scratches again. You see this dog like the teeth like sleepily sort of move around. He's like, I'm here with some of the carts before I move on. What are you doing here?
I am meeting a few colleagues and I will be escorted shortly.
Oh wow, where are you going?
Anything that's further from here.
What's wrong with here?
It's just the same old walls. I mean, this is further than I've really ever been, but I've heard there's so much more.
Wait, you've never been like outside of here? Or is this just for Eldon?
Um,
Have you not like traveled at all?
well, traveling is such a journeyed word.
Well, yeah, it's because that's literal meaning.
I guess if you were to compare me to the average merchant, you would say, no, I haven't traveled. If you were to compare me to the average child, no, I haven't really traveled much.
Oh, we're going to find some great stuff then. There's some real interesting stuff out there. Don't head Orzammar way though. We've just come back from there. For some reason the gates aren't opening. Probably having one of those inter-house argument, war, fight things again. They always do that. They normally keep the doors open though. Never mind. Just don't head Orzammar way.
Wow. Noted. Thank you. And let me ask you something, if I may.
Yeah, of course you can. He sort of leans in awkwardly, if he thinks that's what he's supposed to do.
As she leans in a little awkwardly too. Why are you being so normal about everything?
I'm really sorry. My mum says I'm a bit slow. What do you mean?
Sorry, that's Alex laughing, not Ariama. You know, normally wherever I go, it's a little bit of a and like kind of issue.
Oh, and like he takes a second to get it. He's like, well, no, that doesn't really bother me, should it? Like it sort of like looks from the side. He's like, I'm not really bothered. I just came here for a good conversation.
Huh.
Have I offended you? Like he sort of suddenly like pulls like himself sort of back for a second. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm not very good at this. As I say, I travel a lot, but I literally load up the cart. I don't talk to the people. That my dad does that, and stuff's gonna go off anyway if we don't move along soon. But you know,
you just gave me pause for thought. Is all. Just pause for thought.
I don't mind the. And now he's being really subtle with it, where he probably would have just pointed it out standard before. The Mabari is trying to eat. And this waitress comes over, this woman behind the bar, like, Sam, you're not bothering her, are you? Like, and he's like, no, I haven't done anything. And he's like, and she sits there and she puts down in front of you literally this almost like mashed potato with this definitely home-raised, like homemade pie and gravy and a flagon of ale as this Mabari's nose starts to twitch very much like Pippin.
Sorry, I am in a battle right now. In a fluffy battle. Every step you take, I know, is getting closer.
He'll be watching you. Yeah.
No.
And sort of this burly woman looks at you and is like, is he bothering you?
A little bit.
Because I can tell him to go. Sam's a real chatterbox sometimes.
Oh, no, he's
Odd.
friendly.
Oh. Yeah, I've not had that describing Sam before, but okay. He's like, I can hear you. Like from like literally the other side. She's just like, all right. And sort of starts walking off back towards the bar.
Oh my god.
And just pin. And Sam sits there rather quietly, still just sort of mulling over his ale. And he's like, where do you want to go? Are you going to Tevinter because you're, you know... And he does the same hand gesture you did earlier. Yeah.
You know, not if I can help it. I'd like to go to the woods.
The woods? There's not a lot in the woods, other than bears and other things that...
Lions and tigers?
Oh
my.
Bears. Oh my. Yeah, I really tried not to say that. And he's like, I mean, good on you.
Thanks. And she
All
takes a large gulp of her ale that she was otherwise so carefully sipping before.
And as you're doing this, someone stumbles in, almost like drunkenly, in through the tavern door. And you can see the almost a shield on the front of the door saying the tavern's name, the Fallen Helm, as this door almost bursts open and actually a few people stop and look. And could you roll 3d6 for me, like a perception check, please?
Absolutely. I can see you, Pippin. That will give me a total of 8.
8. Okay. You look over at this man who's just stumbled in through the door. He moves as though he's drunk. But he staggers into a few people that are also stood by the bar and sort of like shove him off briefly. And someone could, like, you see the woman from behind the bar sort of walk around. It was like, excuse me, but you're too far gone, and starts like shaking. And as he does, this head lifts up, and you see these sunken eyes, almost white, an icy blue sort of color still flickers there, but it's hollow. The cheeks are gaunt. The skin seems to be starting to grey, and you can see from this man's neck, where he wears a very simple, almost like farmer's sort of tunic and trousers and boots, as he lolls to the side, and these black veins start seeping up the side of his neck, past his ears, and his fingernails have started to turn black. And he doesn't say anything, but he just lolls his head towards you and Sam, to around the room. And you see Sam sort of take a seat back, and you hear another person in him, "Are you all right, mate?" And as he does that, this person swipes almost angrily out at this person, completely misses before falling to their knees and falling face down on the floor.
Ariava will instinctually kind of jump down to try and like help him up.
Yeah. You sort of...
But also kind of dying to get a closer look.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you can like scoop like your arm underneath him and roll him over. You see Sam sort of approaching, like, careful, like as he sort of like almost over the side of you. The woman from behind the bar is like, "What's wrong with him?" As you roll him over, and just like saliva, but it's grey and black, is running between his teeth out of his mouth and onto the floor. And these eyes look dead. The skin is grey. It is hollow, and he makes almost like this strange, like his breathing is harsh. And he starts mumbling these words, but they don't seem to make sense, almost like between his lips. And he's like, "They're coming. Please stop this." And you sort of look at his hands, and you realize all the veins in his arms have turned black as they reach up towards the tops of his hands, all the way up to his fingertips. And he starts yelling and thrashing about.
What's going on? What's coming?
And he's like, he's sort of like he's starting to choke, but it's not big, not on anything. It's like he's just trying to force the words out as he completely collapses and passes out on this tavern floor.
Damn, that made me jump.
Attention. She'll ask sheepishly after an awkward amount of time of him being quiet, like, "Is he okay?"
And there's a pause, and this woman looks down. "I don't know." And he doesn't seem to be moving. And then the door opens again, and there is a clank of armor as a dark, sort of deep grey cloaked person enters the Fallen Helm. And we're gonna hop over. Oh, sorry, go on.
Just seeing the armor, Ariava's like face is immediately going to come a lot more solemn. But that's the only little note there.
It's like you hear the armor, you see a glint. But otherwise, this is a cloaked figure. Stands very cool.
Push the beer further away from her. Sit more upright and start glaring a lot more as they walk in.
Okay.
Thank you very much to Malhadale, who donates to give Julie an automatic success.
Yes. Perfect. So we're going to hop over to Cahel and Dylan. And you are on this ship. You ended up drifting a little whilst you were trying to plug the hole. You have managed to like plug the hole, but you need to find land pretty soon. And you drift. The sun is... It's sort of high in the sky, sort of midday. And you can feel that rocking, the steady rocking of the boat, that splash of sea salt water on your face. What would you like to do?
How long do you think this will hold?
Not as long as I would like. We'll have to stop and make repairs somewhere. Fortunately, I know a place not too far, and we can decide where to go from there. We'll sail a little way south, staying close to the banks, and we will stop at Antiva.
thought that was farther away.
Well, yes.
Can you both make a perception check for me, please?
This is a thing that I can do. Does this involve seeing?
It does involve seeing.
Starting it off just like last time.
It's great. You're doing just great.
I see good.
You both do. Right. So you've been drifting. It's not too long. This was more that as the evening set in, you've woken up on this boat after managing to plug the hole. And you've been drifting. And you can see in the distance somewhere, well, Dylan, you can. There's almost like a shadow, which you can assume is like a patch of land. It's definitely land-shaped. You can see it. And it's sort of hazy.
There is a smudge on my lens. It's kind of hazy, but there is land over that way. Really polish this.
Alright.
I mean, who knows? If there's wood there, maybe we can make a make-do repair. Ideally, though, I would like to get to a shipwright. I take good care of this creature.
I see some pride in it.
Do not be fooled by the gaudy appearance. I pose as a merchant mostly, but this thing has plenty of panache.
Hmm.
I did not really get a chance to get to know you as we fled the burning city of army-driven the winter. Who are you? What's your story?
No, my name is Cahal. I didn't always live in Toronto, but while I was there, it was pretty awful.
Oh. Do you have a trade?
He just sort of gestures to himself, like weapons on him. This is about all I can do.
No shame in that. Very impressive. Bit messy, but impressive.
I don't really do subtle.
I tried to. Setting fire to docks is not an everyday thing for me.
It's honestly not a shame to see it go.
Yes, that is true. It is not. Especially, pretty much most of the people I met in Tevinto are very similar to the dwarf in the mud. Stubborn. Not fun. So uptight.
For the record, he has not taken off this helm the entire time that we've gone. Like, yeah, I don't think he's changed. Well, I mean, not that he had any clothes to change into, but he's just not really, like, started any conversation and watched that, like, burning pillar as long as we were drifting away, and still kind of keeps looking back as if to try and spot it again.
It sat on the horizon for a long time, this glow. And you watched Minrathus burn on the distance until it was out of your sight. You saw those black ships. And that creature, that ogre, that you killed on the way out sunk. And you got a glimpse at its very white eyes as it drifted to the bottom. Before heading out into open water.
I don't know what it is they summoned, but I hope they just stick to the city. I acknowledge that if I have any say in it, but if they speak further than that, I don't know what would stop them.
Don't know, but you are very attached to that place. You have family there?
No. The very east.
Come
But
again?
not. I wasn't always in Toronto. I was taken, I suppose. I don't know, I haven't lost track of the years. But if my family still lives, they are east of Taventa, and I hope they stay there.
You are free now? You
Get
drink?
this feeling that like he's giving you this like piercing look through whatever front of the helm is, and it's like, what's to say that you won't just sell me to the next suitable offer?
True. It's tempting. I could probably make a fair bit of coin from a mercenary like you. It'd probably turn a fair trade, but I am not a fan of human trafficking. I prefer to make my money at dice tables and transporting honest goods like carpets and linens, of course. Which I obtained legally.
Hmm. How do you make money from dice?
Well, you agree on a result that wins. You both put money on the table. First person to roll that wins all the money. People get very angry about it.
Dice.
It's very amusing.
Well, the winner, I expect.
Well, there's ways to ensure that.
How did you wind up in Tibet?
Well, I was honestly only stopping in to trade. I bought levers from Antivans, if not from Antiva. And it was sent a fairly pretty penny. Unfortunately, that ne'er-do-well was my contact.
The one in the mud?
Yes.
Oh. Sorry, I guess.
Don't be sorry to me. I have gold in my pocket, rum in my hold, and we're on the ocean. You don't get freer than when you're on the ocean.
Who's not? I'm curious what other cargo you have. Like, if we were floating along, like, what did we plug this hole with? What did we have to plug this hole with? That was somewhat disposable.
I would have like the stock that I keep on top of my real stock would have been what we used to plug the hole with. So things that an honest merchant would carry, cloths, lanterns, metal, you know. honest stuff. We undoubtedly you would have uncovered some wax-sealed jars, which I would have told you are full of spice, and other things that you may or may not know that I'm not supposed to carry.
I would not know, and I would believe whatever you say.
You almost drift towards this piece of land. As you do, there's this strange feeling in the air, almost like it feels damp, and you realize you have entered mist. And this mist seems to surround this land. And you fall into pockets of it, in and out. And the sea is strangely calm.
Okay, this shouldn't be too bad. As long as we stay our course. We're not... Oh, there was land ahead though, wasn't there? Perhaps we should steer away until it clears.
I think we're slow enough. Shouldn't run into too much.
What did the land look like? Did it look like a cliff or like a sandbank?
It looked like an island.
Well, I mean, an island that's rocky and will tear my boat to shreds, or a sandbank that I can just glide onto with no issues?
Roll a perception check for me. And yes, you're using your eyes.
May
No,
also
sniff it out.
interest you to know that I have like a navigation skill as well.
You can do that as well. Oh, this is perception right now, so okay.
That's a casual 13.
13 through the mist, you hear the creaks of other boats. Like wood creaking on water, very much like the ships. And if you look at this island, you can see a dock, a very small dock. Like this looks to maybe set up maybe 4 or 5 ships.
Winter. How long have we been drifting?
2 days?
Okay,
You've been drifting only really a day and a half.
Oh, okay.
day and a half to winter, drifting a day and a half. Where could we be? Where could we be?
Roll a navigation for me. See if you know where you are. Okay. You've drifted whilst plugging the hole in the ship. And you know as you close your eyes and try and picture that map, you know that there is an island called Saharan, just slightly north of Tevinter, through the water. And above you, you hear a cry, almost like a screech. But it's in pockets of mist and cloud.
You hear that?
It might be a bird.
And like Dylan just starts like drumming his fingers on the rudder.
You hear the beating of wings.
How big?
It seems pretty big. It doesn't seem dragon-sized. Just for your clarification.
That's a plus.
If you wish to try and look further or have an idea, you can roll another perception. Or even navigation if you have that, to navigate through the mist to see what it is. But I need to know what it is you're doing to try and make it.
I'm going to try and deftly maneuver my ship close to one of these other ships. I would like to get a clue about where we are before we go strolling into port. Like, hello, how you doing?
Mm-hmm. You can, let's have a look. Yeah, you can start steering this boat closer, your boat closer to some of the ships, and you can see what look like merchants.
Let down that sail. Quietly.
Head over to it. And
Let them all down, let them all down. Let's just drift.
Alright. Do that.
Okay. And you drift. You can see people, they're sort of moving, not silently, but they don't seem to be a lot of chatter. They seem to be literally merchants. Ticking things off, looking around. Some of them are chatting to each other as they move things. And there's that beat of wings again, just that little bit closer.
I want to take a close look. Do I recognize these people?
These people, you can tell from the sails, they do have the Minrathos sail. You can probably guess they're Tevinter, but they don't seem panicked. You can probably guess that they don't know what's going on. These look like merchants. They're well dressed. You can see one in particular at the bow stood looking through this mist, reaching his hand out with this blue glow. And it almost looks like he's guiding the ship himself, trying to search through this mist.
Okay, I think they are Tevinter, Kahal. We could use repairs. We can convince them we are someone else.
I mean, if they're not panicking, then no one sent word that I'm gone. So,
Well, I'll call out to them then. How do you want to play this? Are we partners? Are you? What's the deal here? Mercenary? Hired mercenary. I hired you as a mercenary. I hired you in the port. There we go.
Before, as you go to throw back your head and yell, on one side of the boat, something crashes into the water, just disappears beneath the surface. It comes straight down from the sky and plunges deep into the water. You feel the boat rock. You just sort of, like, you don't like overturn or anything like that. You can hold on and just sort of steady yourself. And the water goes still.
What was that?
I don't know.
You see a black shape loom under the water. And it is moving fast. Not towards you, but you can see it heading off in the direction before it erupts out of the water again. As this magnificent creature, this body almost of a lion, with the head of a griffin, huge wingspan as it shakes itself off from the water, this huge fish clasped in its beaks. You can see its legs moving as much as the wings are as it sort of gathers that height again. The water sort of dripping off of its feathers as it soars back up into the sky. And you hear almost a playful cry as this fish is flung up into the air and almost swallowed whole. As it flaps again these huge wings towards the island.
Well, see that every day?
No, not every day. It's. I believe I've seen them before, but not that
What
close.
is it?
Griffin.
What was it? Huh. I've only ever heard stories.
Why is there a griffin here? Okay, now I really need to call. Hello, ho there!
You see this mage like turn, his hand dulls. He's in a long robe, a sort of a very black, more like a black coat, with silver and purple trimmings as he steps, his hands behind his back, and walks to the edge of the boat. You friend?
Is this Seheron?
And this person sort of narrows their eyes. It is.
I am Antivan. Are you in
I
the habit
guess.
of burning down cities?
And this mage tilts its head. You see this flop of black hair.
Don't look at me like that. How can I tell you if I'm a friend if I don't know where your allegiances lie? Do you burn cities down?
I am not in the habit of doing so.
Then we're probably friends, especially if you have golden rum.
I don't have rum.
Your
have
loss.
wine.
Wine's good.
Are
Look.
you merchants?
Yes. This is a mercenary I hired. They're very good. I'm very wealthy mercenary. Listen, I need repairs. I don't know if you know, but in Tavinta, funnily enough, someone set the city on fire and my ship got damaged escaping.
He pauses. And his hands from behind his back lean over as some of the other shipmates run to the side. Burned.
Yes, it was a terrible army. They sacked the city. We, as humble merchants, we escaped as quickly as we could.
Was it for Eldon?
I don't know. They were tall. They weren't dwarves.
And they pause.
One of them was really big and ugly. I hit him with my boat.
And this man looks worriedly over to his crewmates. Do you have a guide through the mist?
What do you mean a guide through the mist? Only my own knowledge of the seas. I ask again, is this Seheron?
It is.
See, I'm doing pretty well.
You are, evidently. Do you wish for a guide through the mist, or are you quite happy following the griffin sounds?
I can follow the griffin sounds, but can I get repairs here?
You can. There is a small village. We do exchanges here.
Hang on a minute. You don't sound like Tavinta.
I'm not Tavinta. I work Tavinta. And again, he sort of holds up his hand, and you see this flame erupt from his hand.
I did not realize this was a game of Who Are You. My name is Dylan Ezekiel. Okay, I am a trader. Who are you? Pleasure to meet you. Let's do the formal thing.
And he sort of again looks. And he looks at the rest of his companions, almost questioning if he should say anything at all. But he does. He leans forward. My name's Alex. Alexander.
Okay, Alexander. But what's with the fancy uniform? Are you Kingsman or something like that?
It's what they gave me.
Who are they?
My employers in Minrathus.
Oh. So you're working for the Deventer. Okay, I know, you said that. Damn, this guy's vague.
You're vague.
He can hear me too.
A very good hearing.
Not very far.
Alright, look, I'm going to sail into port now.
Sail well. And he sort of lights up his hand again and starts to make the pursuit himself, guiding the ship. Can you make a navigation, please, if you're going to try and follow the sound of the griffins?
Okay.
Yep, you literally hear the caw of a griffin, and you are able to follow this through the sky. And soon this port does emerge. Nothing great like Minrathos, but basic and good enough. Your ship will be safe. You can see some merchants unloading some crates here. It seems to be fairly minimal. And there is a man stood at the port, out on the jetty. Hail!
Oh there! I need repairs.
Repairs. And he's like, we can do that. What
Where
happened?
shall I... I think I have to tell everyone. Can we just have a big meeting or something so I don't have to keep repeating myself? There's been an attack on the city. We escaped.
He pauses. And he sort of starts to guide you in, to pull you up to one of the jetties and the ports.
Just lean over to Dylan and say, you could just say we were rammed.
I never thought of that. I'm usually the rammer, not the ramee. Oh shit, they're gonna notice that. No, it's heavily gilded. I'm sure they won't notice.
And you can pull up into port and tie this boat up and secure it. And this man comes over, sort of looks at the damage, and is like, it's going to be at least half a day. Do you have gold?
How much are you charging? And do you play dice?
And he sort of leans over, looks far around. 20 gold.
20 gold. Come on,
Bad.
it's daylight robbery and we're in the mist here.
Who else is going to do it?
Me, how much for supplies?
20 gold.
Oh, you criminal.
We don't get much here. We take it when we can. It's a difficult life here, but we live it.
Woe is me. Okay, okay, Hal, have you got any gold on you?
I do.
I didn't know how much money to start with, so I just guessed and went with 11.
I stole some gold from the house, and I don't know how much it is. I don't know if y'all can count. Past like 10. So he just kind of like pulls out a bag and hands it to.
There's a lot in here.
And I go, oh yeah, no, not much, I'm afraid. Okay, 20 gold. I owe you one.
He takes it. There is a tavern, if you wish to go to it.
As it happens, I do. There is a tavern, there are dice.
You will see,
Sleep boat is fixed first.
and sort of looks out to this mist. It's just along the way. Go past the farms and you'll be there.
I need money to bet with, please. 10, 15 gold deposit, leave me something.
Persuade.
How do I not have persuade?
Insufficient skill.
Yeah, insufficient skill. No, he looks at you. It's like, I don't think so. No offense. My livelihood.
Thank you, my friend. I really look forward to seeing the repairs on my boat.
Good day to you, friend. And you can start making your way to this tavern. This tavern has no name. If it did have one, on the sign it's worn off, and no one has bothered to paint it. And in the mist, as you walk past some of these farms, and you can see people working in the fields. They sort of stop and look at you briefly, but otherwise they don't pay too long attention to you. But could you both roll a perception check for me, please?
Does this involve seeing?
It does involve seeing. My God.
Just keeps getting worse.
How you see nothing.
It's foggy.
It's like a dense mist. Like, if you hold your hands at full length, it's very hard to see them.
Hmm.
However, you can see a pocket where it is lifted slightly. It's still there. But Dylan, you see these people dancing to no music. They throw their arms out to the side in almost this very graceful swirl and dance. And you notice off to the side, there is another and another. And they move very fluidly. They crouch, they stand tall. Some of them start to dance together. You can see these robes that they wear with these trinkets of the sea sort of decorating. They're sort of almost like these sashes with these shells and this driftwood. And they say nothing, but they dance.
Okay. Well, I guess we just try to avoid the silent dancing people.
What?
To the mist there. Don't stare, the dancing people, like... Not any music, let's not tell them. Let's just go to the tavern. Quickly.
And you see this tavern. There's a few people outside it. And do you go inside the tavern straight away, or are you sort of outside for a bit? It's mainly just like damp grass and mud where people have worn a path into this dirt.
As a general rule of thumb, Dylan's rule with pubs is go wherever the dice are and buy a drink with your winnings. So he'll be going wherever the dice are.
Then you go to the tavern.
In we go.
When you enter the tavern, there is a more warmer, sort of cozy feel to it. A fire burns in the hearth. You can smell ale. You can smell food. You see people playing dice. You see people playing cards. And there is someone smiling at you from the other side of the bar. You can see one or two elves. You can see mostly humans and one dwarf, which isn't really a thing. Surface dwarfs don't tend to come this far.
I cannot help but stare. Cahal, do you see that? There's a dwarf here.
Yes.
She stares back.
Oh, friend.
And she holds up her hand. Hello, friend.
I do not mean to stare, I just do not often see dwarves on the surface up to sea.
It happens. The sky doesn't fall, you know.
I've heard that.
I was born on the surface. That's why I'm here.
You seem a perceptive type.
She raises an eyebrow, and you can see this very red hair. Sort of very long down the back, and it goes straight into a braid, which has got all manner of trinkets woven into it. And this braid sits long over her shoulder, and she's in leather armor. Yes?
Yeah, it's the leather armor that tells Dylan she's probably quite perceptive. Well, I am looking here to dice. There are two types of gamblers that I look out for in particular. Those who brag about winning a lot with no shame. And those who silently watch and then come and win at the end of the night. Do you see any of those around the room?
If you want someone who thinks he's good at everything, in particular dice games, you're going to want Quinn. And she gestures over to this fairly old man at the table.
Oh,
He's dressed quite finely.
oh,
And they look pretty faded, but they are still quite fine.
I mean, I usually hate to take money from the elderly, but at the same time, he looks quite noble.
It's okay. He's an asshole. You can do it.
Wow, you do not guard your tongue at all, friend.
No.
All right.
It's not too round here, otherwise people bother you.
Cahal, may I kindly ask you, for passage on my ship, that if people start beating me around the head or generally bludgeoning me, you step in and save me.
Alright.
I'll be right back. And I'm going to head over towards Quinn.
You can. Okay, Hel, what are you doing?
I'm honestly going to like pick a vantage point at which to watch this happen because I have not seen dice games and I'm really interested to see how this betting goes down. But I'll like either like lean against a pillar or something.
There's a pillar like at the end of the bar where you can have a good line of sight, but you can still have general view through the bar. From where you see this dwarven woman sit, and Dylan, you can approach Quinn, and as he looks up, good day.
Hello, Gwen, is it?
Quinn.
Quinn? Sorry.
No problem.
I hear you are the person to see about dice games, huh?
I
They say
do.
you win a lot.
I do. I am good with my dice. Are you? Do you have money?
On my way over, I definitely would have checked the pouch to see how much money is left. How much is left? Cursory glance.
Who are you asking?
You, the DM. I would have, on my way over, I would have checked. Like, I wouldn't just sit down and be like, 50 gold! You know, I think.
You've got about 30 gold.
Oh,
in
that's,
there.
that's better than I thought. Okay. I have some gold.
But then
Enough.
will you play?
Let's play then.
And he puts 2 cups down on the table. Highest wins?
Highest wins, but I get to roll my own dice, right?
Of course.
Of course, there's the way you put the 2 cups down. I thought, oh, you know.
Do you not want a cup?
I will. Well, I do have my own cup if you would prefer, and I'll produce a small leather cup from my.
Then use that. Roll.
I shall. What is the wager?
And he puts 3 gold on the table.
3 gold.
Three.
Nothing big, okay.
You go big or go home.
That's the plan, actually, both. I will meet your 3 gold. And I roll. And I would like to cheat.
Roll 3d6 with advantage, please, and I'll roll straight 3d6.
What game are we playing again? Do we just need to get the highest?
Highest. He rattles around with that cup and slams down and reveals 15.
Hi,
See,
Pips. Hi, Pips,
It's
my
my
friend.
luck. It is my luck. Again?
Okay. Yes. Yes, again. Come on, let us warm up the dice a little bit. Perhaps my luck is just starting to come. Like to cheat.
How do you want to do this? How would you cheat?
I want to slip a weighted dice in so that one of my
Okay.
dice comes up 6.
Then you can have an automatic 6. You roll 2. And he's going to roll a perception on you.
Can it be versus my legerdemain?
So you what?
My sleight of hand. My.
Oh, yes, sorry. Let me roll the 3d6 that I roll first. So he rolls a 12, but then when it comes to his perception, he rolls a 15.
He's not seeing anything.
No, he's not. Roll your 2 dice, you already have a 6.
3 6s, my friend. Who knew?
Yahtzee! No, but you have You literally revealed a couple of 3 6s, and he's like, "You have good luck with you, friend, it seems."
Perhaps our luck is even. What say we up the wager a little?
He sort of looks down at the coin in his hand. I go to 5 no more.
5 no more.
5 no more.
You start at 3 and then stop at 5? What is wrong with you?
He's just seen you roll 3 6s.
Fine, 5. I would like to cheat.
Do the same again. He rolls a 9, but he perceives on a 15.
He sees nothing. But I only roll a 10.
He's like, "My friend, I will play one more round with you, then I am done, or I will be in trouble with my wife."
Come then, my friend. You just won 5 gold off of me. Double or nothing. Let us not finish on a... If I win, no one has exchanged any money. Double or nothing, then someone comes away the winner.
And he looks down at the coin in his hand and shuffles it, and he's like, 10. 10 gold. That's what we'll do.
10 gold.
And he rolls.
Alice, I would like to cheat.
Can. He's again, and he is going to perceive on an 11.
He sees nothing! 14.
Yeah.
No one gets magnificent rolls, but it seems I win. Are you sure you want to stop?
I should stop.
I mean, we can take the wager back down to 5 if you would like to.
I'm going to stop.
Okay.
It's over at you. There is another with much money. Maybe you should go to them. It's the dwarf's friend.
The dwarf's friend.
Yes, I don't know her name. She won't tell.
Dramatic turn and look at the dwarf.
The dwarf is watching you. Is watching you play this game and raises a flagon of ale to you.
Well, my friend, thank you for the tip. Keep a gold. Have a beer on me.
Thank you. And he looks a little bit as he shuffles the last of his coins into his pocket.
I walk back over. Okay, well, I made back some of the money that we lost on the ship.
I call me impressed.
I understand your friend has much gold for dicing.
The dwarf looks over to you. They may have. They are no gambler, though.
Oh. That's a shame.
He holds on to his money quite tightly.
Oh.
He needs it.
Needs it. Everybody needs it.
We travel a lot.
Why? Everyone does. Life is a journey.
It is, but when you're in dangerous waters and spaces such as this,
Change your identity.
we fight.
No, that's a terrible idea.
Sometimes there is no choice.
Kahal, would you like a drink?
I suppose. Oh, yeah.
I too would like a drink. How much are the drinks in here, barkeep?
2 copper.
That's more my style. Just so happen to have 4 copper.
Okay. We are going to hop back over to Aravia or Aravia. And Alex, this cloaked person has walked in. And She sort of pulls down the hood, and you do see a very, very tall human female there. Long black hair, tied into a braid, again sitting down the side. Don't touch him. And she walks over in the middle of this tavern, sort of reaches down and picks him up, and you see this gauntlet as she drags him out of this tavern and leaves through the open door. Everyone sort of watches her go. You hear a blade unsheath, and you hear metal piercing skin and a gurgle. And you see some people sort of take a step back. And she walks back in. And people look nervous as this person walks with cloak still covering them, but very much see their face. And sort of leans in and whispers something to the tavern keeper.
So that was a normal event, right?
Sam's like, nah, that weren't normal. What did she just and sort of pauses, and you see quite a few people just get up and leave. They get up and they leave the tavern. What was wrong with that man's face?
I don't know. Too much wine.
Do you think wine does that to a man?
It could be many things. He could have suffocated. Maybe he was choking, and no one realized that he was choking. And it got to the point where they turned blue. I hear you turn blue if you can't breathe.
And he pauses and sort of, he physically shuffles his chair forward. He's like, look, I heard out on the road there was something like that. I didn't believe it, but there was something, people looking weird, turning grey. Did you see his veins? Like, did you see him?
They were pretty veiny. Yeah.
Well, look, I might go and talk to my dad to get us moving, just leaving here.
Oh, you leaving?
I can sit a bit longer.
It's okay. I'm sure my colleagues will be here soon.
Oh, yes, your colleagues. They're not late. Am I interrupted? And he sort of looks around and he's like, I'll tell you what, I'll be right back. And if your colleagues are here, I'll leave you be.
Okay.
And you sort of feel like a nudge from this Babari that sort of grumbles and gets to its feet, knocking into one of the chairs on the way off. And as Sam leaves you, this woman turns to look at you. And she pauses, takes a second flagon, and you hear that clank of the metal of that armor as she walks over and sits herself down in where Sam was sat. And she pushes this flagon of ale over to you. They said you got a good look at the face.
I was nearby. I suppose I got as good a look as anybody. Really.
How did it look to you?
Well, You know when sometimes you find that body that fell down a sewer drunk and pull them out?
They normally stop moving by that point.
Well, imagine that was wiggling its limbs at you, and it looked like death on acid.
He sort of nods. It did look like death, didn't it? And she wears a very sort of grimace on her face and runs her hands through her hair and pushes this braid back around the other side. It will do you good to leave this village soon. Take your things and leave. Do it calmly, do it quietly.
Okay, can I stay the night? I've just paid for it.
How much did you pay?
I mean, only a couple of coppers, but...
There you go, here's a couple of coppers. And you see this gauntlet hand come out, and she draws it back. I have told them to close the inn and move. Whether they will or not, I don't know.
What are you hiding?
I'm not hiding anything, I just want everyone to move on safely in a calm manner. When it's not calm, there is chaos.
But when there's money, there is secrets.
And she smiles. It's not the secret you want to find out. It's also a secret that won't be a secret for much longer, but you will be dead when you find it out. There is a darkness on the way. You're going to need to move quickly.
Darkness how?
Death is on its way. I am here bringing word from the winter. People need to move. But I am not here to make a fuss. It's not my style.
Right. Get a move on. Leave death behind. How are we meant to defeat the darkness? What about the people who can't get away? The children, the kids, elderly?
My men and I will do our best to get them out. But sadly, some will fall.
Leave the tower, Ariava. Everything will be great, Ariava. You'll have a great time. You'll get to see the outdoors for once. Of course, I picked the day where everybody's dying.
I only ask that wherever you go, you send word of the same thing. You must warn them.
Right. That plagues are coming. Blah. Okay, I got you. She's going to awkwardly do a little, shoulder nudge to the armor.
And you do feel just cold metal.
just like a little, you look after yourself. Try to make sure you get those elderly out there. Wisdom helps many things. She's saying, and she's gathering up her things as quickly as possible and swinging them back over her shoulder.
Are you a mage?
Yes. I mean...
What kind of a mage are you? What do you do?
Well, a little bit of flame, a little bit of water, a little bit of ice, a little lightning.
She leans
rocks.
in, leans forwards, and you see these gauntlets sort of rest. You are also an elf. Those are two things that may cause you to have a struggle.
The ears give it away.
A little bit.
I don't expect things to be easy. I barely trust people standing right in front of me.
She looks at herself sitting. Fair enough, it's a good way to be. But at some point, especially soon, you are going to have to trust others. It is something I suggest you do.
Stay safe. And she'll turn and leave.
You can start walking towards this tavern door, and as you open it, you see this town that is filing out. This town that looks like it's starting to be built up. People are grabbing their belongings and moving. Most of them look more confused than anything. And could you make a perception check for me, please?
Absolutely. Okay. That would come to a 12.
A 12, okay. So you stand there and you look as these people, almost in slow motion to you, some of them start running. Some of them are just confused. Some of them are letting the horses out and moving them. You can see Sam talking to his dad as there is another man cloaked talking to him. That glint of armor. And you notice the birds are gone. The sound of the birds are gone. There's a grayness in the sky. And you look down at the ground where people have run and created just mud from these carts. And there's a puddle. It starts to shake. You feel, as you look at it, the carts go past. It's not in time with the carts passing. Over on the horizon, something is coming. And there is a darkness moving towards this village. As this woman clad in armor pushes past you, looks over to the distance. We're too late. Do you have a weapon? Do you fight?
And she'll just look towards her and produce a couple of flames in her hands.
So, it's good enough for me. And as she does this, she unfastens her cloak and pulls back and drops it on the floor as you see a flourish of silver and blue of a silver plate on the front of this griffin perched. You notice 3 or 4 others, these others clad in these cloaks, drop it. As you see Grey Wardens, 4 or 5 of them, take suit and go to stand by the gates. One of them is starting to ferry out more people out through one of the back ways. And can you make another perception check for me, please?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, you can't hear the music, Alex, can you?
Oh no, I can't.
No.
14.
14. On a 14,
It's pretty intense.
on a 14, you turn and you look through this archway where these people were building this wall. They have dropped all of their belongings. They have just sprinted. As you hear horns going off. There is an alert. People start to scream as these huge creatures, these strange, almost humanoid-like creatures, but they stand nearly 7 foot tall, with their eyes white and eyes hollow. They're clad in armor. Their skin is grey, but they don't look hollow and like husks compared to what you saw earlier. They look strong. Their teeth are long, and they brandish these hideous weapons, these sort of crude blades. And you can hear that roar as they start to charge, and you feel the ground shake. What would you like to do?
Okay, I think the first thing I will actually do is find a good cover spot.
Absolutely. You can see where the stables were. You can see people are charging, sort of trying to drag their horses out. If they're not riding them, they're dragging them out. And this, you can either hide in the stables, but you can also see some steps that go up towards the battlements where this tower was starting to sort of be built. And you can see this watchtower, this man just firing arrows. They're doing nothing. They're clanking off the armor of this force that is coming. It's not an army, but this looks to be like a patrol that has come forward and come ahead. And you can dive for cover as they start to pour into the city. Into this town, sorry. You can see as they sort of flood in through these unfinished gates, they plow through whatever is in front of them. Man, woman, and child, they are flung to the side. They are, you can see men who are trying to like pull their horses or carts that haven't abandoned it, get run through with these horrible hook-like blades. And these things have huge hands with some with like very much bludgeoning type weapons built onto their own gauntlets. And you see these grey wardens yell and charge forward. What would you like to do? Is there anything else you want to do? Are you going to try and escape?
I think I'm going to try and see if I can make sure everybody else is out of the building.
Yeah, okay. You can look back to the building and you can see the innkeeper tearing out, dragging that the barwoman with him. You can see a couple of the other tavern's guests sort of being pulled out. You see a small elf child, which was earlier with the other family, is currently lost in this distance as all of these, it's just chaos around it. And you can see people running past, trying to get away, crashing into each other. And you can see from where you are, as you look over the top of this stable, this dark spawn tower, almost as it slices through and sends this sort of black spray up itself. Turn and see this small child and start to break into a sprint.
Oh shit. Okay. I think I'm going to sprint towards this small child myself.
Now you
Possibly.
are closer.
Am I able to use a spell as I do so?
Absolutely. Describe to me what you're doing.
As Ariava starts running towards this child, you start to see these like rock-like scales build all over her body as she uses rock armor to try and make sure that anything that comes by her is a little bit protected from.
Yeah, no, you see this child that has turned and also witnessed this huge creature running towards her. and you start charging, and almost with each footstep, with each move, you can hear this armor building up over your skin as you run. And there's one that sort of gets slightly too close, and sort of, you don't knock it over, you sort of spin it as you it sort of half ricochets off you as it's running after someone else. And you get towards this child with this, and are you scooping them up, or are you holding their hand and dragging?
Scooping them up, if possible.
You scoop them up. You manage, this is a tiny little thing, this is like 5 years old, as you sort of scoop her up with ease. And as you turn round with your mage armor, you see this darkspawn charging towards you, blade raised. And it throws its blade at you. So I'm gonna roll an attack.
Oh shit.
We're gonna see what happens.
Oh my gosh. First episode in this, battles.
It was a 15 hit.
It does.
It does. Okay. What is your mage armor? What sort of things does that give you for that? Does that just increase your armor?
Oh, of course, the mage armor.
Mm.
I believe it adds, at this level, only like a +2.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, no worries. So I'm assuming I still hit. It sort of runs forward, and it throws this blade towards you. And you get 4 damage as this comes crashing down onto you. The mage armor almost like solidifies, and as much as it not bounces off, you almost hear like a clang against your own skin as you hold your arm up, protecting yourself. But the actual vibrations that shoot up your arm, you think that like you buckle at that moment, and it sort of turns around. This is a heavy sword, and it is coming up to swing again. You can either run or you can fight.
Let's use Stone Fist to push him away and then run.
Okay, roll for me.
Cool. All right. You've got this, Alex. Okay, that comes to a 15.
Oh yeah, you hit it. And as you do, you've put this up, and you can feel it as the pain shoots through your arm. And sort of, so how are you punching it? Like, are you just like bopping it and running, or are you proper like? Because this is a big hit for you. You could knock it out if you want.
I think it would be more of a panicked, like, oh shit, you're like right here,
yeah,
get away, kind of thing. Yeah, not perfectly well planned.
Yeah, you've got like the kid in one arm, and as you put your arm up and you can feel that pain hit, you sort of see it coming round again, and almost as if you're going to put your hand up to try and just stop it, and this almost like spectral like brick fist comes out and just strikes it up on the jaw and goes up and crashes, and you see this thing sort of fall back and clatter, like there's the actual mud splatter as it comes up, and you see the blood sort of just spray up from where its nose was, its blade tumbling around the side. And as you do, as this thing falls, you can see this grey warden woman who gave you, that you met in the tavern, looking at you like, and sort of keep going before she runs another one through. This little elf child, she's whimpering and she's looking around frantically, but this is a busy place. You see people being slaughtered and everything. And can you roll another perception check for me, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much to Gemsong, who comes in with another sub and another $10 subscription to the Patreon for 10 months now. Thank you so much for all of your support. You have an automatic success and an advantage to gift. Let us know who to.
8 total there.
8, okay. You stand there and you realize none of these sort of darkspawn, they're sort of focused on some of the other things. As you've just sort of blasted this one, you can pull back into the corner and You sort of feel that wall up against your back. Whilst you hold this child, you can see some people from the village filing back into what looks to be like another building, but there's so many going in, you can only assume there is a passage way under there. And as this is happening, you feel the earth start to shake again. And that small stone archway almost explodes with stone and brick as this huge horned ogre, this creature, comes tearing through, swinging its fists, almost just literally throwing its weight around. And for the sort of the gist of the side, you see it just pick up people and throw them as you see this.
Oh. Okay,
And immediately you see one of the Grey Wardens is just unleashing arrow upon arrow, sometimes 3 at a time, just firing at this thing as it runs towards it.
I would like to use flaming weapons for them.
Fab. Let's have a look. So, describe it. What was it you're doing to their weapons?
In a weird moment of like fervor, excitement, fear, but seeing that, I guess, a moment that has just been inspired a little bit of heroism. She sees them there and she runs up, and as one of them is just about to get up, she touches the hilt of his blade, and a trickle of flame like starts to dance down the blade, and same for those in a small area around. Them.
You see this woman's sword as she swings it. She sort of takes a second glance at it as she looks over as it comes crashing down through one of these huge hurlocks as they sort of almost spin out of the way as she moves very gracefully off to the side, dodging one of the other blows. You see the archer, his arrows igniting as they start striking this creature, and it yells in pain as part of its sort of leather and furs on its side just catches alight and starts to burn. Through this chaos, you can see Sam. Sam is trying to sort of weave and maneuver, and you see this Mabari come tearing after him as he's jumping over sort of obstacles to head in your direction. He can't necessarily see you, but he's heading in that direction.
Oh, Sammy boy. Oh no. So is the child safe?
The child you've got in your arms, if you want to put her down and send her in the right direction, you can. You can see someone like calling out to you and to the child as well to get to this. It's almost like it's not really a tunnel, it's like just a little loop underneath where there's been a break in the wall because it's still being built.
I feel like I'm going through one of those like Telltale games, like big, like just 2 decision moments. Like either hold on to and protect the child and let Sam get to you eventually, or send the child on its way and make sure you can save Sam. And I don't know. Oh gosh. You know what? I'll roll a D2 for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it looks like we are sending the child this way.
Yeah, you can send the child over towards like this other person who is currently like arms outstretched as they run towards them. You can see Sam is sprinting, this Mabari making very easy work of jumping over bodies, as Sam, you see, sort of quickly slides out of the way as this blade comes down and it catches his arm. This blood, and he sort of yells, screaming, grabbing hold of his shoulder and starts sprinting in your direction. You can see the ogre charging through as it has spotted him. It is charging past the Grey Warden as it is headed in your direction as it has spotted Sam.
Oh, bugger me. Okay, I guess I'm going to run towards Sam mostly.
You're gonna run towards Sam.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I still have my rock armor on.
Okay, no worries. You tear towards Sam, and I'm gonna need you to get roll a dexterity.
Okay.
To see if you get there.
Oh, 16.
16, yeah. Well, describe it for me as you see this ogre come crashing forward. It literally just makes zero work of like carts and crushes them on the way through.
Okay, I direct the child to say, "Go there, over there." It's just like a horse, you know. They'll find their own way home eventually.
It's got pigeon instinct. Go on, you go.
So yeah, I usher the child along, like, "Go, run, find yourself, child." And then she's going to turn to Sam, yell out his name, and just I'm guessing at first probably a little slow due to trying to get used to the clunkiness of her rock armor self right now, but she eventually just starts like tearing towards Sam, trying to make sure that she can at least stand behind him, run behind him as like a bit of a shield of sorts.
Oh gosh, yeah. Okay, so you can get to him on a 16. You manage to grab hold of him as this ogre comes swinging with its fist, and it crashes not into you, but it crashes into this cart to send the cart flipping and crashing into the both of you. So I'm going to roll and see if it. Let's have a look. I'm guessing a 5 doesn't hit.
No.
With rock armor. Yeah, as you see this huge ogre fist come crashing in, and this splintering wood as this cart comes over, and you literally manage to pull both of you, more of a fall than a pull, down to the floor as it sort of skims over the top of your heads. And you're currently laying face down in like this mud. But you have got a second as the ogre has sort of crashed, it is pulling these splinters out of its arms.
Okay. With using my, I think I have an advantage roll. So I'm going to use that here to try and guide Sam out of this vicinity as fast as possible.
Okay, can you roll me, are you doing this as like a dexterity with movement, or are you looking for the best route?
More in character would probably be looking for the best route, because her dexterity ain't that good.
Yeah, okay, roll for me, please.
Cool. Oh no. That would be a 5.
5. Wow. Okay, so you indeed see a route.
A route.
You see a route. And you can pull up Sam and start, like, as he sort of starts, he's got hold of your arm as well, sort of almost you're both pulling each other. And by rolling a 5, you jump over one of the broken carts, but you did not see the Hurlock that steps forward, that sheen of that grim black blade, and it swings. I am going to roll for both you and Sam. So to hit you,
I'm a die episode
14 hit.
What was the first one? Sorry, 14?
14.
14 does hit.
Okay.
Just.
So let's have a look. You take 3 damage as it's more sort of, you see it in time, you do that sort of skidding halt as this blade comes across, and it just catches you. It slices across your arm as this welt opens. on your side, and Sam sort of grabs you as it comes down. Is there anything you would like to do before Sam takes his turn?
You know what? Sammy boy, take it away.
Sam, let's see what you can do. Sam does not hit. In fact, he hits pretty badly. And as Sam sort of swings, like he's found like a plank of wood as you've got hit, he swings up and this Hurlock grabs it and swings back at him. Let's see what he gets. On a 12, hang on, he is using... On a 7, you see this Hurlock sort of lift up the wood that Sam was holding onto as he went. And as he does, there's this horrible sort of gnarled knife that he brings out of his side and just brings up into Sam. As you see Sam sort of like eyes wide open, you can see it not enter like his it's literally like it's hit him so hard in the shoulder, like it's here. And this thing just pulls up until it comes out the other side. As Sam, wide-eyed, screams and lets go and falls to the floor. And you stand face to face with this creature with this broadening smile, with these nail-like teeth, this almost warp-shaped head with this black veins across, as it looms over the top of you. And then there's a splatter, and you feel blood come across your face as a flaming sword comes straight through its chest and is withdrawn again, and this Hurlock drops, and you feel almost in a daze this gauntlet hand effectively pick you up. You see Sam thrown over a shoulder as you start to be carried by this Grey Warden as they come running towards the exit. And we are going to head back over to the others, back over on the island. And as we are over there, what are you doing in this tavern?
Everything is so calm and peaceful here, isn't it nice?
I've honestly just been like leaning against this like bar with my arms crossed, just like observing this weird like state of normal because I have never experienced it.
Yeah,
Thank
you've
you
come
so much, Tina, for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. Oh, hi, everyone. Spam those raid emotes if you got them.
Oh, hi. And you stand in this tavern, leaning against the bar, having a drink. You see this dwarf sat by the fire, ale in hand. Some food's been brought over, which they seem to be sort of shoving down, if they've not eaten for a while. And from you, whilst you're looking at each other, you hear her voice, "Friend!" And the door to the tavern opens, and you hear that clank of armor on the wooden floorboards of the unnamed tavern. This cloaked figure walks in. You outside can hear that screech from that beak from that griffin. As this very tall man walks in, stubble, almost like a mousy brown hair, sort of almost, well, more of like a sandy blonde. He looks to stand maybe 6'4", and you see him come in from the mist, take off this cloak which rings sort of out of water by the fireplace before laying it over the back of the chair. And he sits there in blue and silver, with a silver breastplate bearing the griffin on the front. And he sort of falls into this chair and pulls up a plate and just starts putting some on his own and eating.
I mean, it looks pretty cool. He has a griffin on his chest.
Striking, yes.
Look, do you think we should maybe tell everyone here about the, you know, the,
Hmm. Maybe wait till we have a clean way out in case they're angry about it.
well, we wouldn't tell them we did it. I say very quietly.
By your record, I had wanted.
What do you mean?
For playing merchant, you seemed very outspoken with at our entrance.
Oh, what you mean with the person on the boat?
Hmm.
Communication with people can be so hard when they're so vague.
Right. Well, anyway, I don't know if now or later would really change much. But what, are you just going to stand on the bar and be like, "Hello, people, the city is burned"?
I mean, that is my usual approach.
Oh,
But, seeing the person with the griffin, I wonder if maybe he is perhaps a leader and it might be more delicate to tell him and let him tell the people below him. What do you think?
I would tell the merchants and anyone looking to go in that direction to maybe guide them away, but we don't know who he is, where his allegiances even lie.
That's true.
Look, if you like talking so much, just go and talk to him.
I could do that. You don't like talking?
A bit out of practice.
Well, as we sail together, I'm sure we can change that.
You must.
That or I'll talk your ear off, one way or the other.
Don't think I have a say in it either way.
No. I'll go and talk to him. Bartender, can I have another drink?
Of course. And is that same again?
Do you know what that fellow with the griffin on his chest drinks?
Ale. Golden ale.
I'll have a golden ale then, please.
Yeah. And he sort of like hands it over to you.
And the water.
Looks mildly confused, but pours the water anyway.
Thank you. And I walk over and pass the golden ale to this new friend and say, "Hello, friend. May I have a word?"
This man with the square jaw and the stubble and these very, very green eyes sort of looks to you. "You may, friend."
This is for you.
He sort of takes the ale from you. "Thank you, it is a kind gesture."
Okay. I potentially have bad news, but I need to check I'm giving it to the right person. Would you mind telling me about yourself?
"My name is Ronan." "And you?"
Dylan is Ikrian. My friends call me Dylan.
It is good to meet you, Dylan Ezekiel. I am Ronan, First Warden.
First Warden, what does that mean?
I am a Grey Warden. You may not have heard.
By all means, don't let me stop you.
Forgive me, friend, I also do not know who you are.
I am a merchant from Antiva. Recently stopped in Tavinter.
Then you must have seen something.
Ah. You two have come from Tavinter?
Part of it. It's not just into winter. Please, sit down. Your friend. They are welcome to, if not, it is fine.
I will beckon to Kahal.
Pick myself up and come and sit down with my orange. Or apple or something.
This place is native cinnamon and stuff, so you're fine. You're going to have some hot tropical stuff, so it's fine. And this Grey Warden nods for both of you to sit down. The dwarf takes a seat back and leans. Tell me, where was burnt? I have been here for almost a week. I had to fly north.
We came from Minrafos.
And Taventer has fallen.
I mean, overthrown at least.
Minrathous is the heart of Taventer. If Minrathous falls, much of Taventer will. Tell me, why are you here?
Repairs, mostly. Some crook on the dock is charging me 20 gold to fix a small hole.
That'll be Quinn.
Quinn!
Yes.
No, I just played dice with Quinn.
And he sort of smiles. That's his son at the docks, then.
Ha. Okay, good. Yes, we were attacked on the way out, or rather we were rammed.
You have seen them. You have seen the blight.
At a distance, some big thing with protrusions attacked our boat.
How many did you see? Is it a few?
Hundreds.
Hundreds? Yeah, I'd say hundreds. Thousands? Would you say thousands?
Couldn't see that far into the city.
Me neither. A lot.
Then more have come to the surface. And he sort of pauses and takes a sip of that golden ale.
Where else then?
And he looks over to his dwarven friend. Orzammar was the first to be attacked.
Oh, but the dwarves, they... hardy people, aren't they? They'll be okay.
The dwarves are not okay. Despite their resilience, they seem to come from beneath the earth. These spawn. They're not people, they're monsters. Stand taller than the average man with teeth of... And he just sort of pauses, and you can see him rest his hand on the hilt of a dagger that is by his side. It is not. The world is not well. I fear it may be coming to an end. And me and my people are going to stop it.
You have the numbers then?
No. We do not. I cannot lie. But I will not stand idly by when these things pillage through not just cities of wealth, but towns, villages. I've heard news from my friend that they may have already breached for Relden.
Eldon too. Damn it, that was going to be where I next ported. How about Antiva?
I have heard no word from Antiva.
Perhaps no news is good news.
Most of my wardens are in the Anderfells. I have sent them out to scout locations, find how far the plague has spread. And those who survive a Darkspawn encounter, you'd rather be dead.
What do they want then? Conquering from below?
I don't think they want anything. They feed on destruction, darkness and death, and that creature in the sky, not a dragon. A demon. We must destroy it. We have had many believe that by destroying this, we can destroy the armies. We intended to have them fall before it spread this far. You understand, though. A dragon, they pause a demon on that scale with wings that large. It can travel fast. Even our griffins cannot keep up.
Your griffins.
Correct. It's a sort of friendship, an alliance. Eos is one of my oldest friends.
How does one acquire one of these friends?
He sort of looks to you. You don't acquire a friend, you meet it. We Grey Wardens, we are imprinted with our griffins. Now, if you don't mind, it's wet outside, and I'm sure Eos is hungry. And he sort of reaches over and picks up a piece of chicken, almost like a whole chicken, and starts to walk outside. You may follow, or would you stay in the tavern?
I would not make any motion to move. I'd want to confer with Kahal.
One sec.
But it's pretty dire. Kahal. I was going to move to Ferelden, well not move to Ferelden, but I was sailing next to Ferelden to see if I could make some trade there, but if they are under this blight, many other things are. Perhaps we should consider going elsewhere. Maybe in the Anderfells, where he says he has moved most of his men, there can be found some trade there. Moving weapons or something like that. You can always, smuggle the men, Elfroot and Deathroot, all that sort of business.
Sure they'd welcome it.
Sorry?
I'm sure they'd welcome it.
You'd think.
What if it spreads there?
No, go somewhere else, I suppose. I've never sailed out of Thedas. But to be whole sections of ocean that have never been explored.
Suppose. I don't know what to make of it yet.
No, me neither.
Very unceremoniously, I'm going to get up and like just kind of stand by the door and see where he went.
You can open the door and stand and see this grey warden sort of trudge through this mud in the rain and approach this magnificent creature. This lion-like body with as it sort of stands up as it sees him. These griffin heads, the wings, and these claws that look like they belong to some form of giant bird or raptor. And their fur and the plumage is very much like a charcoal grey dotted with white. Some black here and there around what you can assume would be called the muzzle. But it has very soft eyes. And you see him reach a hand out and approach it and sort of slide his hand up the beak and around and almost rub the back of its head and hold this chicken out to it, which after the briefest of sniffs sort of snapped up. And you see this grey warden's mouth curl up into a very small smile and puts both hands either side of this griffin. It sort of rubs the feathers backwards and forwards before it sits. And it is big. It's very, very big. And you see a saddle, sort of very leather, very comfy, very well padded saddle sort of fixed around it. And this rain is pouring down. And he looks back at you as you stand by the door. I'm guessing you've not seen one before.
Haven't.
Would you like to meet one?
I look around almost shyly. And, but yeah.
And he sort of actually holds his hand out to him. Come here, approach slowly. And he doesn't take your hand, but he sort of gestures for you to walk forward. Hold out your hand. And Eos, sort of like this huge creature, sort of turns its head slightly, literally looking at you all over. And you almost feel that tiny bit of a snort as you see the hot air leave it, sort of the nostrils on its beak, as it sort of almost becomes a mist itself in the air. This is Eos, and my friend, your name?
Go.
Eos, this is Gahal. And this griffin lowers its head almost into a bow before rising
I genuinely mimic it.
Yeah.
Just kind of stand back and go like, here's something really respect.
They are wonderful creatures. Brave. And the only way to catch an archdemon in flight. Your friend. And sort of, Dylan, are you actually in sight? Are you seeing this? Are you watching this? Or
Oh, there's nothing in the bar for me, so yes, I would follow behind.
Eos. Dylan. And again, this creature again bows low and then rises back up. Sorry, go on.
I swoop off my hat. Also bow low.
It makes a little bit of a squawk and rears up slightly, not in an aggressive way, almost in a If anything, you'd say it was in a happy response, as it sort of shakes these grey feathers and you see the spray of water come off of it. And the dwarf stands in the doorway, watching, with a smile. I am afraid I leave this evening. As he sort of looks over to both of you. Ronan sort of looks at both of you with like a raised eyebrow. I suggest you move on from here. If the Canary don't get you, the Darkspawn will.
Where do you
Yes.
suggest we go, friend?
And he sort of shakes his head slowly. There is nowhere fully safe. We've been trying to clear people out. We've been heading into the forests, to the Anderfells. There's danger everywhere. But you'll find somewhere. The Emerald Glaives are normally a good one to go to. But giants walk those forests, as well as dragons. Or you've seen what's coming. Would you fight it?
I don't know about fight it, but I might try and trick it and trip it up and maybe deceive it a little bit and take its money.
And he actually, like, in this rain, like, he really laughs. Like, you know, that could be a good approach. They wouldn't see it coming.
Did ram one with my boat.
Of course you did. And he smiles at that. And you can tell he fully believes you.
A glorious moment. I got stun points, so it all went into slow-mo.
Well, my friend, if you do wish to join, head to the Anderfells. My people are there. But I will be heading out before this storm hits. And as you say, as you hear those words leave his lips, you see this dwarf is now heaving on this heavy coat and this pack. And as she walks over, you hear Ronan say, Eos, and he sort of stands upright. And this dwarf with this small sort of step sort of stands up and swings onto this griffin. As he rebuttons his cloak and pulls the hood up and swings onto the back of it, sort of securing her in. Traveling by ship in a storm, I'm sure you know the consequences if anything isn't fully fixed. And he holds out his hand. 20 gold for your ship. Come to the Anderfells. And there's a curt nod from the dwarf as this griffin rears up and starts to almost charge and canter as it runs. And you can see the wings, you can feel it as you see the grass start to sort of lean backwards almost, and the sort of the water droplets and the puddles get thrown aside as you, almost in silence, see this griffin take off and very gracefully glide through the air, disappear through the mist and into the clouds.
Suppose there's your answer.
Go and trade with giants or go and join the army.
Giants are even less for conversation than I am.
That would be truly awful.
I'm sure.
My boat must be done by now. Been half a day, at least. East or west?
I figured this blight will reach the blades eventually. May as well go where there's people who can protect us from it.
I hate that I agree. But, like I say, maybe we can trade things to the soldiers or something and scrape a living.
Sure, some of them like dice.
Tell you what though, we are going to drink a lot of rum on this trip. Soldiers, sergeants especially, do not like people having rum around.
Could just leave it on the boat.
I also know that in these sorts of things, boats with rams attached do not last very long without being requisitioned. Maybe the last journey in here for a little while.
Most of it, though. Head off that way.
All of it if we can.
And you can start to walk towards the ship. As you do, again, this time, Kahel, you can see it, the fog dancers. As you hear them sort of click as they move, almost creating their own music. And there's a low hum in the air as they move with each other and almost with the breeze. And Dylan, you can spot your ship on the shoreline, all fixed up, beautiful as ever. And we are going to hop back over to our lovely little elf mage. And as we do, you start to come around. You feel very dazed as you are slung over this shoulder. Looking off to your side, you can also see Sam. And he is out. He is very much passed out. You can see blood running down the side of his shoulder. He looks badly wounded. And you can feel as though you're going through this, like this ducking under something where you can feel this uncomfortable metal. You see as you get carried past that little child up in someone's arms as they walk past, and people just sort of moving in carts, moving in file, trying to get away as fast as they can. The army seems to have slowed down. You are in this open space in Ferelden, still being carried.
You know, I do have my own set of legs. They work pretty well.
I'm sorry. And this woman puts you down very carefully. It's like, I'm so sorry. I intended on getting us out there as quickly as possible. You took out that darkspawn with one blow.
He came my flame.
You could say that.
They're terrifying. That's nothing like I've ever seen before.
Not many have. And not many would run back to pick up a child, or to fight one, or see a friend that they met just this day in the tavern. As she sort of gestures to Sam, who you can hear just like over the side of her shoulder, go back and take a blow for them.
Well, I don't know. A child is a child. You've got to try and protect them. They're the best chance we've got at anything. As for Sam, where is Sam?
And you see this thing as she sort of heaves up on her other shoulder, and you hear this like groan. He says, "His father didn't make it."
Well, that's going to be fun news.
You hear a bark as this Mabari comes running towards all of you, sort of bounding up gleefully at Sam. You can hear the whines of worry, sort of licking Sam's hands, hanging off the back of this Grey Warden, sort of panicked, runs round to you, sort of licks you a few times.
Oh, that's his drooly creature.
A Mabari, yes.
Right. Mabari, that's the word.
Loyal Ferelden beasts.
They're cute in an ugly way.
And she sort of looks at this Mabari, and it does look like from some other time, not today, it's got like a scar down the side of its face, but it looks very happy seeing Sam and now being away from everything. It's its tongue half hanging out, that drool. And it is big, it stands up the same height as your waist.
Yeah, she's going to tentatively go out to like touch and pat it.
It sort of does that like the back leg jerk as you sort of like tap it. It sort of give it, you can give it like an ear scritch, and it sort of does that like shiver, and you see the fur sort of like come up on the back of its neck. And
yeah, before you know it, she's going to be like kind of in that like who's a good boy? Squishy face, squishy face, long face. Yeah, she'll just be
you can be
completely enamored
all over this dog, this Mabari, and it is loving every second. Like its face, and he's just moving with you as you do it.
Oh, this extra doggy skin.
And this Grey Warden looks down at you. My name's Tarka.
Ariava.
And she holds out this gauntlet hand. You probably feel it. She sort of goes in quite firmly, then remembers, loosens up a little bit. You fight well.
I try.
You do.
I guess.
You do very well. And she smiles, and you notice that you and her have sort of broken off from this trail going off in another direction from all of these sort of escaping villagers. So she sort of looks to you.
You'll see that Ariava as well when she says that you do fight well. She's kind of smile to herself like a yeah.
And she can't help but have like a little smile at that herself. Where were you headed?
As far as I can go, really. Wherever the path may take me.
Well, would you like a lift?
You know, I am not one used to walking. I would not say no.
And she smiles. And you can see just over in the distance these two other Grey Wardens, and beside them 3 of these creatures, lion-like bodies, huge bird-like heads, and huge wings on his tail. You can ride with me as these things come padding forward, and they are huge. This is definitely bigger than you.
What are they?
She sort of taps like her breastplate. Griffin. That was my first reaction too.
They do still exist.
Some of them. This is Black Crest. And she sort of gestures to one of these griffins that has a particularly sort of, all the feathers are black and go all the way down the chest. As this other Grey Warden comes over, takes Sam off of her and mounts this griffin, sort of seating Sam upright. And you can see him actually take off his belt and effectively strap Sam to him and has a look over at the other one, who is currently looking mildly terrified that he's being handed a Mabari. And then Taka looks to you. And this is Leto. And this very large griffin sort of pads forward, looks to you. These big, almost white feathers, these big white feathers with all of an underlay of like charcoal grey. And it sort of stands quite proudly and is looking at you and closes its eyes in a very slow, almost like blink. Almost like a cat. And
She's gonna slowly blink back at it. Kind of like you do with a cat.
Yeah. And it leans in and gets quite close to your face, and you can feel the you feel like that breath on your face.
Slowly, you're going to see her hand kind of creep up to try and start stroking it right between the eyes on the nuzzle.
And as you do, it sort of closes its eyes again, and you can just feel that up the beak and those feathers. Right. You coming? And she swings. She swings into her saddle and holds out a hand for you.
Up she'll jump. Absolutely up she'll jump.
She holds your hand and pulls you in. Hold on. But not too tightly to the feathers. They don't like it when you pull them out, even on accident.
She'll place a firm but tentative grasp onto the feathers of this griffin and try to hoist herself up.
Yeah. You managed to.
As she swings her leg over, she will have that moment where she kind of used almost a little bit too much force and kind of and has to readjust her balance on the back of this griffin, doing a little butt shimmy to even it out.
You feel the gauntlet on your shoulder just pull you to sit upright that tiny bit. There's a handle on the saddle. And sort of you see this small leather handle built in.
Right. Handle. Gotcha.
And she looks back, lets out a whistle, and almost all in synchronization, the three of these griffins start to run, and you can feel that gallop as you start moving. It's just whoa, as you gallop across this field, and it's almost you don't notice it at first, as the wings flap and send your hair sort of shooting back as you feel that breeze on your face. As you take off, and you see everything on the ground become distant. As you look either side of you, these two other griffins lining up, almost in formation. And you head away from this burning village towards the Anderfells. And that's where we'll leave Dragon Age this week.
Okay, everyone, we've got credits to outro with today, so we're gonna run the credits. Before we do that, I'm gonna tell you we're gonna go on a raid. We're gonna go and make someone's night because we've got a lot of viewers in chat. Okay, and there's not a lot of people I can see online, but there is one person online that I can see is online and deserves a shit ton of viewers. So we're going to go in there, and if we could all come in and spam his chat, because I know he's also looking for one of them chat unlock things when he gets so many people chatting in chat. So everyone copy that raid cry. We're going to go across. We're going to really make his night. Before we do that, please copy the raid cry there. We're going to also check out the not the opening. Okay, well, the opening credits are the same as the closing credits, but they include the tweet, I guess. So whoops. Check out all of our things. It's where you can find us, where you can come and interact with us. My whole thing is getting people who are new to TTRPGs or new to streaming into streaming TTRPGs. So if you want a game, send me a DM on Twitter. I'll get you a game. My waiting list has about 200 people on it at the minute, but we're going through them very quickly. So don't be afraid to send me a DM. Yeah, also big shout out to our sponsors, Bird and the Storm Publishing and Mage Hand Press, without whom this wouldn't be possible, because we are full-time. We get to do this full-time. So thank you very much, and thank you all for coming out and sticking around tonight and watching us play. We appreciate you. We'll be back at the same time next week with more Rise of the Wardens, and we'll be back on Monday now at 2 p.m. For the start of next week's shows, with a Fair on Popular Lane by Jake on Skull. We will see you all next time. Until then, keep on evoking emotions, everyone. See you later.